Thank you and good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam's Sports Report. The Chiefs lost to the Broncos yesterday. After beating the Broncos 16 games straight, all streak must come to an end, and that they did for Kansas City, as Patrick Mahomes probably had his worst game of his career underneath the flu. Patrick Mahomes put through 2 INTs and fumbled once. Martell Valdes-Scantling was part of a fumble. And the last chance maybe the Chiefs had was McCall Hardman fumbled it as well. Maybe Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs should have bit the bullet and starting Blaine Gabbert over Patrick Mahomes. But my answer would be why. Gabbert wouldn't probably have done much better, and Mahomes played on one ankle last year in the playoffs. The Chiefs only got 3 field goals. The Chiefs lose 24-9. The Chiefs need somebody at the wide receiver spot, which is the bottom line. They don't have enough more money. More on that tomorrow. Here's more with 41 Action News on the game.
Sure, the Broncos beat the Chiefs. We just grabbed her from the edit bay. She had nothing going on, so we put her on the panel.
1997, I was 5.
Well, that's not the last time they lost to him. It was 2015.
Well, okay.
Okay, yeah, no, so we're all bored, but it feels like a lifetime ago. So that leads us to our first question here, panel. What went wrong for the Chiefs in Denver today? Curtis, we'll start with you. Where do you start in this one?
I think you have to start, obviously, on the offense, where it's one thing to have a game where nothing goes well, but it's rare when you have a game where everything goes wrong. They didn't run the ball very well. They didn't pass block very well. I realize Mahomes is only sacked 3 times, but Denver had 11 quarterback hits. When he had time to throw, there often wasn't anyone open. When there was someone open, they often didn't catch the ball, Sky Moore. When they did catch the ball, they occasionally fumbled, MVS. They were bad on 3rd down. They were bad on 4th down. They were bad in the red zone. Then you had 3 Patrick Mahomes turnovers. I don't know if it was the flu or what it was. It was just an absolute abject.
Let's move on to the rest of the 3:25 games. San Francisco and the Bengals, the 49ers lost their 3rd straight game after being undefeated at 5-0. They have dropped back to 5-3. Maybe things are not as good for Brock Purdy as some people may have thought he was. Brock Purdy did throw for 365, but threw 2 picks and only 1 touchdown. I don't think he's good enough to win a Super Bowl, but we'll see. The Bengals led all of the game. Joe Burrow had 3 touchdowns. After losing 3 out of 4, the Bengals have started 1-3 and are now 4-3. Final was 31-17. Jamar Chase had 1 touchdown, 100 yards. Ravens gave up 9 unanswered. Luckily for them, the game was already decided. It was 31-15. The comeback tried to come up late, but the Ravens would cover the ball up after they came all the way back from 31-24. But Baltimore wins 31-24. As I said, the Bengals are 4-3. The 49ers are 5-3. The Ravens are off. The Eagles win over the Washington Commanders 38-31. Washington football team led 17-10, but then the Eagles tied it up at 17 all, 4:17 to go. At that point, nobody else would score in the first half. Washington would take the lead 24-17. The Eagles would follow up with a 38-yard pass from Deontay Smith from Jalen Hurts, 38-24 all. Julio Jones got his first touchdown for the Eagles, 31-24. DeAndre Swift got a touchdown to go ahead, 38-24. Washington Commanders score 101, but the Eagles would jump on the onside kick and win 38-31. Cleveland Browns and Seattle Seahawks. Browns and Seahawks, before we get to Sunday's night game, the Seahawks got up 14-0, 14-7. The Seahawks got up 17-7, and then former Chief that I would be interested in, but there was a reason that he was a free agent during the season. Kareem Hunt got a touchdown from the 1, make it 17-14. Seattle, 17-14 Browns. the Browns would get 2 field goals to lead 20-17, but a 9-yard touchdown by receiving Geno Smith gave the Seahawks the lead in the win, 24-20. Sunday night fashion, San Diego Chargers and Chicago Bears. The Chargers scored 2 touchdowns. The Seahawks are 5-2. The Browns are 4-3. And the Colts beat the Saints 38-27. The Colts got it down to 8, but the Saints would score on that drive to make it 38-27. Saints. Bears was 30-13. Was already the score. Chargers are 3-4 and not kind of surviving for the playoff spot. Well, they're alive in the playoffs, but they're going to have to get on quite a winning streak. Even though the Chiefs lost yesterday, the Chargers are 3-4 and the Chiefs are 7-2. Now we go on to the noon games. The Miami Dolphins and New England Patriots met up. The Dolphins led the Pats, although through 14 and then 7 most of the game. The Dolphins were up 17-0. The Pats would make it 17-7, 17-10. Then the Dolphins in the third would make it 24-10. Touchdown by the Pats. Juju Smith-Schuster would be something interested in coming back to the Chiefs. 24-17. Miami Dolphins scored a touchdown to make it 31-17, and that would cap it off at 31-17. Tua Tagovailoa throws 3 touchdowns and 324 and 1 pick. Jason Waddle gets 121, and Tyreek Hill gets 112 and 1 touchdown production from their 1 and 2 receivers. 31-17. Your final. New York Jets and New York Giants. The Jets and Giants was a matchup of suckage. Giants have made past the first round since 2007 and have only made the playoffs 3 times since 2008. Well, the Jets are on the longest streak of not making the playoffs since 2010. When I was a senior in high school, that put in an overtime, 13-10 was the final, with the Jets kicking a game-winning field goal. They won in OT for the Jets, 13-10. Dallas Cowboys and Los Angeles Rams. Cowboys blow out the Rams, 33-3. Cowboys, by that time, it was over with 2:27 in the first half. 4 touchdowns. Dak Prescott for 304 yards. C.D. Lamb 158 and 2 touchdowns. 43-20. Cowboys over Rams. Minnesota Vikings and Green Bay. Vikings get the win 24-10. But what the biggest loss of the game may be that Kirk Cousins is out for the season, announced on Monday. He'll have an MRI confirmed that his right Achilles is torn. In Sunday's win over the Packers, Jalen Hall took over for Kirk Cousins. I don't think he's a quarterback. I've never heard of him. Maybe that's the reason. Because to make them go to the playoffs, and that's what they're fighting for after winning 4 out of the last 5. But they're going to have to find a better quarterback than Jalen Hall, I believe. Carolina Panthers and Houston Texans. Panthers' Bryce Young had a better game than C.J. Stroud, which might be the first time for this season, but they played against each other this time. Stroud, the second pick, has been better than the first round pick, C.J. Bryce Young wasn't great though, 235 yards with a 7-3 they scored. Final was 3. Will Levis had a great game yesterday for his first performance. He had 238 for 3 touchdowns. Falcons are 4-4. The Titans are 3-4. The final noon game of the day, the Jaguars and Steelers slugging it out. The Jags led from 10:47 on. The Jags led in the first quarter for 10:47 on. The Jags got a 17-10 lead, made it 20-10. The Jags led with 4:35 by 10 to the Steelers. The Steelers turned it over on downs and punted. Jags would punt, but to end the game and solve the game, they threw an INT. 20-10 was your final. In Monday night's game will be the Raiders and to keep their May slim playoff hopes alive. The Lions, who have had a great season so far until the blowout last week, grab their great season back. The Detroit Lions do. David Carr, who has struggled this season for the Las Vegas Raiders. Jared Goff has had a good season outside of last week. Watch out for Davante Adams and Amon St. Brown. Obviously, Jared Goff and David Carr are starting at the quarterback position. Raiders are 3-4, and Lions are 5-2. Game time is at 7:15. Lions are favored by 7. World Series tonight: Texas Rangers and Arizona Diamondbacks, who are even at 1. Tonight's pitchers: Max Scherzer and Brandon Padoff. Padoff has had the better postseason than a player that would be expected to have a good postseason, Max Scherzer, but has not. Game time is at 7:03. 1-1 is a World Series. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam's Sports Report.